welcome to Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month After Party Day 5. Yes, if you've just joined me, this is a channel to be for education about asexuality. So if you haven't already done so, please press that big subscribe button right now. Hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sandra Bellamy, author of Asexual Perspectives and founder of Asexualise.com and also founder of Asexualise Academy. And today I want to talk to you about grey A and grey sexual and grace issues. And also I have to apologise for the wet hair. I promised I'd do a video every single day throughout the whole of August. I've been busy doing paperwork all day. My bed's been absolutely covered. I've just been in the shower and my hair is soaking wet, as you can see. I got my nightshirt on. So today we've got another Eat All one on, different one, because it's really hot here in the UK. Really boiling. This is today Eat All mug. And yeah, so today's topic is more on the grey end of the asexual spectrum, but you wouldn't know about it. Hi Martin, nice to see you. I've just said that my hair's wet today because I've literally had paperwork all over my bed. I promised I'd do a video every single day, so I'm keeping my word, but my hair is very wet, as you can see, because I've just come out the shower. So yeah, this is kind of a very grey A topic. Now, most people wouldn't think that asexuals talk dirty, right? You would associate that with asexual. If you don't know what talking dirty means in the sort of heterosexual world, it basically means when you talk about sexual stuff. But I'm going to come on to what it probably might be in terms of asexual dirty talk compared with sexual dirty talk, because there might be a distinct difference, but it still might be very taboo to talk about this, okay? Because you won't really find this on a channel. It's something that's quite closed. Not many people talk about this type of thing, because obviously asexuals are not supposed to really talk about anything sexual, are we? You know, because we're meant to be asexual, which we are. But if we kind of, like, if any of us are sexual in any way, it can be seen as like, well, you're not really asexual. So in terms of sexuals, they, for example, heterosexuals, when they talk dirty, they usually talk about sex, what they want, as far as I know, because they usually talk about sex, what they want to do with the person in terms of sexual intercourse and all the sexual acts they want to do to them and where they want to touch them and everything like that, okay? So that's kind of like where the heterosexual sex talk, dirty talk. Some people as well, they use not nice language when they're talking dirty. I've seen some dating coaches, you know, say about stuff that I don't think is very nice personally, but apparently some women get, you know, blokes turn women on that way. I personally don't like that. You know, I don't like it. And you know, sometimes it can accompany if they're, you know, you can talk dirty without them being in the room with you, you know, like via text message, via video chat, all this type of thing, or you can talk dirty to them in person. So obviously it's something that normally quite a few heterosexuals would do, for example. You wouldn't kind of associate that with asexuals. However, in the asexual spectrum, as it were, I come across not talking about sex quite a lot, not that at all, but I come across a lot of sort of, probably it might be a little bit the equivalent of dirty talk, because it's very, when guys talk to me, like I normally attract, as you know, either sexual guys or the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, and I'm heteromantic, but I have the grey area of kissing, and so I tend to attract the grey A's, you know, the grey sexuals, or possibly even the demisexuals. And so if you've just joined this channel, you don't know what a grey asexual is, or grey, they sometimes call it a grey sexual. It basically is, a grey asexual is someone who experiences usually sexual attraction in limited, rare or specific circumstances, or who experiences it but not enough to want to act on it. And a demisexual is someone who only experiences sexual attraction once a strong emotional bond has been formed. So these are not pure asexuals because they still experience sexual attraction upon occasion or in certain instances, for example. However, for someone like me, and how in my book I redefine grey A to mean grey areas. I think because at the moment Wikipedia, they tend to put them, Avon Wiki tend to put it all together. It's like the asexual Wikipedia tend to put like the grey sexual, the grace, that's GRACE, the grey asexual, the grey A's, all lumped together in sort of one, you know, everything, you know, it all means the same thing type, you know, thing. And I just think that's so wrong because, you know, I'm a heteromantic 100%, you know, I don't experience any sexual attraction, but with the kissing, it's very much a grey area. You know, a lot of heteromantics, you know, they kind of fall into two categories in my experience. One is, you know, just a straightforward heteromantic, as it were, with, you know, some variations, but then you have these other heteromantics that seriously, they have grey areas, and you know, some of it's kissing, some of it's making out without the intercourse, some of it's a lot of touching involved, you know. And so it's kind of like most things a sexual would do. It can be you know, it's different degrees. It could be going up to most what a sexual would do in behaviour, but without the penetration of sex. And some sexuals will probably usually have oral sex, whereas a lot more asexuals don't seem to like that. It's not, I haven't come across many asexuals who actually say they don't mind oral sex. I haven't come across many who, I've met, you know, I've spoke with one person via message, but I haven't, well, he said he was asexual, though I had a complaint about him and he had to be, and he was rude to me once. He started asking me for money, so I don't know if he was just scamming the group, to be honest. And I'm like, blocked from my friends list, blocked from the group. So, you know, I don't put up with stuff like that. So whether or not he was just a troll, I don't know. And he wasn't really asexual, because the person came to me and was worried about him not really being asexual because he was talking to her about oral sex. And to be honest, if you just meet a person, usually asexual, if they start talking about oral sex straight away, it's not really what you do, is it? Really not. But you know, with the grey A, more sexual end of the spectrum, you can end up talking about sexual stuff, like sexual behaviour stuff, quite quickly when you're on dating sites, asexual dating sites. You know, there was a guy on Asexuality, and he recently posted that he was looking for a grey asexual lady, and he's a heteromantic but considers himself grey asexual. And when he read out what he's interested in, I fitted quite a lot of that criteria, but he wanted all the making out and stuff like that, and I don't like that. So that's too sexual for me. So the type of like sort of dirty talk equivalent with asexuals is usually talking about kissing the person, the other person, talking about where they're going to touch them, talking about how they're going to kiss them, where they're going to kiss them. This is kind of like the equivalent of sexual dirty talk. This is the equivalent, but asexual dirty talk. I don't even like the word dirty talk. I think it's a pretty disgusting word because, you know, it makes it sound like the thing that you're doing is dirty and disgusting, and therefore it really puts me off. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest, I don't mind a certain amount of a guy saying that he'd like to kiss me, that he finds me attractive, like asexual guy, beautiful, all that lot, that he'd like to kiss me and stuff like that. And I don't mind him saying, you know, if he started talking about my body, then I'm nudity repulsed and I don't want my breast touched and all the rest of it. So if he started saying stuff like that, it just really would put me off him. So I'm kind of like stuck really, because I don't mind some, I call it intimate talk, you know. I don't really think dirty talk's the right word to use, but you know, some people could, you know, some asexuals are different in what they talk about. Like I kind of think of it as intimate talk, but I think there's different degrees. So I think some asexuals, you know, they literally, the ones that want to make out and stuff, they'll probably talk about all the body parts and where they like to touch, like, you know, everywhere. And that to me is getting much more dirty talkish, you know what I mean? Very similar to sexuals, but without the penetration. But sexuals do take it to a whole new level though. I mean, they really take it to a whole new level. So yeah, in answer to the question, I think asexuals can talk dirty in their own way. Yes, some that are on the more sexual end of the spectrum, some that have got grey areas, or some that are heteromantic even, but they lean towards more of the sexual behavior side, heteromantic, in which case I think they should be called grey, grey A's, grey areas. And this is why I really think grey A should be redefined, like in my book, because I just think it's so hard when you're on asexual dating sites, like especially with me, because I'm sort of like, I love the passionate kissing, and there's not many heteromantics that like that without them having a lot more grey areas. They just, the ones that are into passionate kissing like me, they've got, a lot of grey areas in terms of sexual behaviour. And the thing is I find it really difficult because it becomes too much for me. Like if a asexual guy is talking about when he'd like to kiss me, oh, when I see you, I like to kiss your sweet lips and I like to stroke your hair, that's really kind of like affectionate. But to me, it gets too arousing for me. So if they start saying, I'd like to kiss your sweet lips, I'd like to touch your sweet hair, I like to stroke your arms and make you feel all tingly. Do you see what I mean? If they're using that sort of language, it can really make me aroused. And then if they're doing that constantly, which they seem to love to do with me, because it seems to keep like the sort of passion going, but it becomes a bit too sexual for me. It's like, hang on a minute, this is kind of, I recognise this type of thing more from the sexual world, the heterosexual world that I used to be in, and it just gets too much. It goes too far for me, speaking like a heterosexual would to me. Do you see what I mean? And then I become like, I feel a bit yucky. I'm like, this is just too sexual for me. I'm asexual after all, and I kind of then want to just, you see that, like my ladybug, I just want to hug my ladybug. Then it's like I want to hug my cuddly toys, because I just feel kind of like it's too sexual, then it's just overset the mark for me and it's too much. And I'm kind of like in between this really romantic person. I need romance, and I like to be attractive to guys. I want an asexual guy that says you're beautiful, you're cute, you're attractive. I like that. It makes me feel really good and special. And I hate the fact that, some asexuals don't say that. But a lot of the asexuals, they're not programmed, they haven't had that type of programming in their mind to say that, like for example, an aromantic person who doesn't even need a relationship, they wouldn't even think about really saying stuff like that, I don't think, to a person, in my experience. But say they're like grey romantic or they're demi romantic, and they're going to end up being in the romantic sphere, as it were. I think, like, some people don't like it. I've known some asexuals, they don't like it if they're told they look pretty or nice. But I do, and and I think it's kind of hard if you're on the aromantic spectrum, but you could be romantic as well, like demi-romantic, because then you've kind of got to learn two completely different ways of doing things. Like, this was the aromantic way, and this is a romantic way, although they may blend together and you don't realise it. So I think, I like it. If I've had some asexual guys and they don't say at all about that I'm looking nice. I like it when an asexual guy says I look cute, or some asexual guys say I look hot as well. Asexual guys, yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, it just, I feel it's really difficult with me because of the passionate kissing aspect that I really need. It's much more on the grey end of the spectrum, but yet I'm heteromantic and experience zero sexual attraction, diddly squat. So I'm a bit stuck, aren't I, really? Because it's kind of like, I need the kissing, so that kind of is going to lend itself to being with a person who's probably going to be on the more sexual end of the spectrum, or probably going to be more grey A. But then their grey areas and the way they are becomes too sexual very quickly for me, and I'm like, I just can't cope with it. It's just too much. It's like, why can't you just talk romantically to me? Like, oh, I like kissing my, sweet lips is quite nice and stuff. But even so, even that, if I'm really attracted aesthetically to the guy, it can make me feel very aroused even saying that, because it's the kissing, the thinking, the thoughts of kissing make me feel very aroused. And the thing is, I can't be in that state all the time, because I experience arousal quite quickly and naturally, and it's high levels. It becomes too much for me. I know that people, asexuals that don't experience arousal, will be like, this is just another foreign language to me. What the heck is she talking about? It's ridiculous. But, there are some asexuals that experience arousal, and I can't help it. And I'm trying to sort of show the difference between asexual and sexual. And and feeling like a bit stuck, you know. It's kind of like I feel really stuck, because I've noticed that the guys that I tend to attract that are really attracted to me on the more sexual end of the spectrum, they start saying all this stuff to me. It just becomes too much. And I'm like, I can't live, because it makes me think of the person more as well, which is not really good. And then because I want to get on with my work and stuff, and the feelings of arousal are just constant, you know. It can be like quite never ending, and then it makes me want to do stuff with myself, and then I'm like, I just want to concentrate on my life, you know. It just becomes overwhelming and overpowering is what I'm trying to say to you. And you know, so if you are into relationships and dating as an asexual person, you know, you have to know that there are some asexuals like that. And, you know, maybe if you're not into the passionate kissing, if you're only into little kisses and stuff like that, and you put that on your profile, then you probably won't attract these type of people like I do. But it's because of what I write on my profile, you know, about loving the passionate kissing with the tongue. I mean, it's a very intimate, sensual thing, you know. It is. And so therefore it's more sexual in behaviour with the French kissing, in my opinion and experience. So it's kind of like, you know, I think it depends what you put in your profile. But, you know, some people have just got sex appeal. I mean, I'm not being egotistical, but I get a lot of sexual guys after me. There was a woman, a girl at the UK Asexuality conference, and she has a lot of sexual guys after her. She's demisexual, but she finds that hard because she doesn't, you know, she doesn't want to just go and have sex. She needs a really strong emotional connection, and for them to know her for a very, very long time before it even gets to that stage. It just, you know, she feels awkward being around sexuals anymore, and that's what I do, because it's just overwhelming. And, you know, I can see why loads of guys would be attracted to her. She's universally attractive to a lot of guys, you know, and I tend to be universally attractive to quite a lot of guys too. Although, because the way I am, I give quite an aura off sometimes, like, don't come near me because I'm not interested, you know. And so I get less of it than I used to, because, you know, well, I try to get less of it, put it that way. In my mind, I get less of it. Whether I do or not is another matter. I think it's just because I don't talk to as many sexual people. If I talk to more sexuals, I'm sure it'll be different. But yeah, I mean, it's flattering in a way, because I know some people in my asexual dating group, for example, they feel like they can't get anyone to like them, not even a sexual person, and they feel quite lonely, lost, and like they're not attractive or anything. But, you know, when you've got people after you that are sexual all the time, it's quite flattering. But it's kind of like, you kind of, well, I have a gay friend, and he's like, oh, you give this sexual energy off, Sandra, even though I'm asexual. And I'm like, okay. And I kind of understood what he meant, but do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, that's like going to be a scent for the sexual guys then. But it's really hard. I think relationships, dating, you know, being on the asexual dating scene, I just think it's really, really tough out there. You know, it's really hard. I don't think there's people who are taking enough time to actually get to know each other. I don't think people are being proactive in the asexual dating scene. I think they're just waiting for something to happen and fall on their lap. I think the people that say they want a relationship, I think some people do something about it. Others are scared and others don't bother. They just like talking about it, you know. It's like, look at me, I've got no one either. And it's like, come on, make an effort, you know. And people are like, oh, I can't find anyone in my city, I'm never going to get anyone. Well, hello, you have to go out of your city then, don't you? It's as simple as that. You either have to get people to come to you, or you go to them. That's it. You know, otherwise you spend your whole life going, I can't get anyone, there's no one in my city. Next year comes, I can't get anyone, there's no one in my city. Next year comes, and then you're in the same position year after year, day after day, night after night. Unless you take action and gonna move your butt and go and do something, it's never gonna happen. You know, no big miracle or sledgehammer's gonna fall on your lap. You know, I'm proactive, you know, I'm selective in who I talk to. I'm not talking to loads of guys all at the same time, as it were. Sometimes I end up talking about 3 guys at once, but it doesn't usually happen that often. You know, it's not kind of my intention as such. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with talking to a lot of different people on dating sites, especially the asexual ones, to get started, because you kind of need to put the feelers out for who you might for who might be interested in you, but just don't go willy-nilly at it. Say you look through a lot of people's profile and you like 3 different guys for whatever reason, or if you like 3 different girls for whatever reason, or like 3 agendas or non-binary, you can approach all of them, get to know them all as friends first, and then decide if there's any connection there, like emotional connection, and if there's any interests and hobbies. It's a good way of doing it, is becoming friends with people first. Therefore, you might not be compatible for relationship, but you might be ideal for friendship. And I think that's another point as well, is when you go on these asexual dating sites, you have to work out where it's friendship or a relationship you want. I've learned, that really you should develop friendship first, because friendship's the foundation for everything. Now, the problem that asexuals have with this is because, I even see it in my group, is, but if I'm friends with them, how can I tell them I like them more than a friend? Because I'll lose them. If they're really your true friend, you won't lose them. If they're not your true friend, then you will. So at the end of the day, I mean, you don't hassle them about it. If they say, no, I'm not interested, then you have to accept it, unless someone's giving mixed signals. It can be very confusing. There are a few people that give mixed signals, no doubt, because it happens all the time. But, if someone's categorically said to you, no, I'm not interested, they're definitely not interested in that point. And if they're a completely different type of asexual to you, you have to let it go and find a more compatible asexual person. It doesn't mean to say you can't be friends with them. I'm friends with quite a lot of asexual guys, for example. But, we're not romantically compatible. I'm not romantically compatible with any of them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not relationship compatible with any of them. But, most of them are British anyway, which is cool, because it's good for me, because I kind of get more hyper romantic over foreign guys than but I've got a really good foreign guy asexual friend that I met at the conference. He's coming to my next meetup. He's aromantic though, so we already established straight away that no dating or relationship there, which is good. It was good to establish that, isn't it, quite quickly early on, well, in my case it is anyway. So sometimes you have to think of yourself as well, I have to say that. So for example, if you are really romantic and you need to know, so for example, if I'm interested in a guy, I will tell him or imply it, or it depends on the person. Like, if it's on a dating site, then I will kind of like talk to them and imply that I like them, or may say that I like them. But if it's like a friend or someone like that, I'd usually ask them what they felt about me first. That's a really good way of telling. So if you've got a friend that you really like more than a friend, the best way of finding out how they feel about you is just that. Is say to them, how do you feel about me? Do you like me just as a friend or more? Because that way you haven't lost anything. You're putting the onus and emphasis on them to tell you how they feel about you. If they just like you as a friend, then you just be friends. If they like you more as a friend and you like them more as a friend, then you could perhaps talk about that further. It still requires a discussion. If you're adult enough, you should be able to discuss it. If the person is adult enough, if they're not adult enough to talk to you about it, then they're probably not even a good friend for you. You should be able to openly discuss these things. It depends where you fall on the spectrum as well. I mean, obviously, if you're on the much more end of the sexual end of the asexual spectrum, and then you're asking a friend who's not at all sexual, like an asexual friend that's not at all sexual, and then you've got to be careful how you ask the question, because if you are on the more sexual end of the spectrum, you might start, if they say no, you've got to take no as an answer. And you've got to be careful to just like make sure that it's just, it's just fine. It's just like a matter of fact. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But, it's great. We'll find suitable partners for each other. Carry on being friends. Do you see what I mean? You've got to just be careful how you handle it. But yeah, if you're a friend with someone and you really think they'd be better as more than a friend, then just ask them. That way you don't reveal any of your feelings unless you want to. That way you don't you don't tell them how you feel, because you've no need to. And that way you can assess where they really are interested. They might give you a weird answer like, I don't know. Then you are a bit stuck. Then if you say, I don't know, you need to delve more into it. So like, what don't you know about? Is it your feelings about me? Is it your thoughts? Is it how it would work if you do like me more than a friend, and talk around the subject. So just like talk about it like a factual subject and try and take the emotional, you know, the emotional aspect of I really like this person more than a friend out of it, and be more talkative around it and discussive, if that's a real word, you know, have more of a discussion with them. So I hope that's helped. I don't know how this video's gone from can asexuals talk dirty to helping you out with how to approach a friend if you really like them. It's because I've got people on here that are romantic and some that are more on the grey asexual end of the spectrum. I've got people who are on this channel that are aromantic. So I'm kind of like trying to, in the conversation tonight especially, cater for both sides of the spectrum. I mean, there's a lot of people that are not going to watch this video because they're not going to like the title of Can Asexuals Talk Dirty? Or do asexuals like talking dirty? They're not going to like that title because anyone that's on the asexual spectrum or anyone that's asexual, you know, that doesn't like any type of sexual behaviour or any sort of sex talk whatsoever, the whole title's just going to discuss them, and I know that, but I have to cover everything on this channel as much as possible, and that includes talking about taboo topics. I know after this video's finished live streaming, I know that we'll get quite a few views this video because of the title as well, because people are curious. They want to know what the heck I'm talking about, even though they don't necessarily want to watch it, because they don't want someone to see them watching this type of thing as well. Some of my most watched videos about asexuals are to do with masturbation and all sorts like that. And, you know, and do asexuals watch porn and all that type of thing. People are interested and curious about things that are taboo within the asexual community. And, you know, that in this channel, I like to talk about a range of things. I like to talk about love, life, sex, and relationships, and how, you know, that works with asexuality and the whole asexual spectrum. I just think it's important to discuss it all, because at the end of the day, we all have to get on with each other in the community. We come across different types of asexuals, and, you know, if we turn a blind eye to the rest of the spectrum, then we're not really participating in the community. We're not really understanding other people. Yes, if we're like, say you're aromantic, you might not want a sexual, you know, aromantic asexual, not sexual, and aromantic asexual, so you lack romantic attraction, lack sexual attraction. You know, you might not want to go near someone who talks, you know, who's much more on the sexual end of the spectrum. You might not want to mix with those, you know, those type of people. Same as people who are more on the grey asexual and demisexual side of the spectrum. They may feel they can't really speak in front of aromantics or the asexual aromantics or those sex repulsed, because, you know, obviously it's not going to be nice for the others to hear. So, you know, even in the spectrum, you're not going to get on with everyone. You're not necessarily going to want to chat to everyone across all the spectrum. But I'm trying to include a range of topics in this channel so you kind of get an idea of the whole spectrum, so you can make an informed choice for yourself about where you fit on it and where, you know, what type of people you want to hang out with. You know, you need to realise that there are these type of people. Like, I don't want to be with an asexual in a relationship that watches porn, to be quite honest, but a lot of them do. It's just like ridiculous to me, because I personally, you know, this is getting personal. I'm personally sex repulsed these days, but even if I wasn't, I don't like the guy I'm with watching porn, because I find it disgusting. And therefore, I wouldn't want him looking at that. You know, I can't stop him if that's his natural, what he does. But then what I'm trying to say is I want to find a guy for me that doesn't do that. It's the same as you want asexual friends. You know, if you want asexual friends, you kind of want them a bit like you, don't you? You want them interested in the same sort of things, the same sort of topics, or you want them sort of to be able to understand you. So, you know, if you're an aromantic person, you probably want to talk a lot more to aromantic people. You might want to talk to some romantic people that are not that into romance, for example, because you can relate to them more. Or you might have romantic friends. Like I know people all across the asexual spectrum, but I'm kind of got little bits of everything sort of mixed in me. Not everything, but a lot of different things, I should say. I mean, I'm not aromantic, as you know. I'm a hyper-romantic, but I can understand, because for example, with British guys, I can feel some romance, right? But yeah, I've got no aesthetic attraction to them usually. And because I can feel that bit of romance for a aromantic guy, for example, then, you know, for just a friend, you know, I can like a British friend or maybe a British romantic friend, but not my type, you know. I can, because I can experience that, I kind of understand how grey romantic works, because grey romantics, they kind of experience romantic attraction sort of under rare or limited circumstances. And I know it's not the same thing because I'm definitely a hyper romantic, but because I can experience some romance for British guys with no aesthetic attraction, and it's not enough to want to kiss them, so it's not enough to want to act on the kissing part, for example, then I kind of get the whole grey romantic thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Because, you know, I kind of get that. And also with the demi-romantics, with them only being able to be romantic with someone they form a strong emotional bond with, I think the British guys that I have some romance feelings over sometimes, but not enough to want to act on it, like in kissing, not enough to want to be in a relationship most of the time. You know, my thought might cross my mind, but then it's like, no, we really wouldn't be suitable. And also I have to have kissing, so it'd be no good anyway. But because if I make, you know, I have a strong emotional bond with a friend, for example, and like emotional connection, romance usually go together for me. That's how come I can still feel a bit of romance for some British guys. But the most I want to do is hug them or stroke their hair. I wouldn't want to do anything more. Like, I wouldn't want to touch them intimately. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to deep mouth kiss them or anything like that. It would be gross to me, because it's like, well, you're just really meant to be a friend. So it's a bit weird, but because I can experience that, I kind of understand the grey romantic, demi-romantic side of the spectrum. And then obviously I've got the grey side of the spectrum with the passionate kissing. And then I'm a heteromantic, you know, so but I'm excessively romantic. So I'm kind of like got little bits of different things in me that I can understand. I mean, I'm not demisexual. I haven't got any demisexuality traits, but because I've been in the heterosexual dating scene for a very, very long time, a relationship scene, if you like, for half my life, and I can feel when someone's got sexual energy around me, and I can kind of get that they need a strong emotional connection, because like with going back to like the British guys, sometimes like I can feel a bit of romance with someone I'm really strongly emotionally connected to. I kind of like that, understand that with the demisexuals. Do you see what I'm saying? So I kind of understand quite a lot of the spectrum, even though I'm definitely a heteromantic, because I can kind of like see bits of my feelings or personality reflected in certain parts of the spectrum, despite me not being it. So yeah, I hope that helps you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. If you've got any questions, now's the time to ask them, because I've been talking for just over half an hour. So if you haven't got any questions before I go off, I love you to post them in the comments below right now for me. I'll answer anything you want me to answer before I go. I think I've covered quite a lot, actually. Like I say, my hair's very wet. It's drying off now since talking. I'm having a self-date tomorrow, so it's likely that I'm going to do a video before that, actually. Actually, I'm out, though. I don't know if I can, because I've got no signal on my... I've got no signal. I might have to do one at my parents', actually, because I'm at my parents' tomorrow. Haven't got anything to ask now. Yeah, so tomorrow... Okay, Martin. So tomorrow I'm going to have to do my... I'm going to have to do my live stream. And I was thinking that I was going to do it while I was out going on my self-date, but I can't, because I've got no... because yeah, tomorrow is Tuesday. No, tomorrow's Monday. I hope tomorrow's Monday. Oh, yeah, sorry, I meant Monday. Today. Sorry. I'm like, I've got the dental appointment, which is not... I don't like going to the dentist. But it's just a checkup. So, yeah, in the morning. So, yeah, it's already gone midnight. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So, today I'm going to the dentist, and I'm going to go on self-date to the cinema. I'm watching superhero movie. I'm watching the Ant-Man. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, it's on. So I'm going to go to the dentist first, my checkup. Fingers crossed for me, because I don't like that type of thing. And then I'm going to go and have my salad, probably with my tuna on the cathedral green. And then I'm going to head to the cinema. or self-date, I really need it at the moment. It's going to be really good for my soul, especially as you know that sort of even this week, there was that guy called Ronald who came on this channel and kind of really swept me off my feet. And then, he lives too far away for us to actually have a relationship, and kind of like we don't, that's kind of been the end of the talk, really. A couple of days talking, and there he was, in and out, gone. So, I'm still available to talk to him for once, but I think probably it's going to be too upsetting for him or whatever. So I wish him well with his life anyway. Hope he gets the girl of his dreams and the end woman of his dreams. So anyway, so that was kind of like a bit upset for me. So I kind of feel like I need to, really get back in tune with my soul again, which, going to the cinema or self-date, it really gets me back in tune with my soul, my being, loving me again, having a happy life. I was feeling a little bit down this morning, but I'm feeling really good at the end of the day. I was listening to music all day today. So I don't tend to get depressed, but that doesn't mean to say I don't get a little bit down sometimes. But, I just thought of how awesome my life is, because I was talking to someone last night and saying that technically I'm unemployed at the moment because I was made redundant last year. And I need to, I used to do a lot of all the asexual stuff I kind of used to do on my days off. And I used to do them at night, all the videos and all my days off. But kind of like I devote my life to asexuality, and people think, oh, she's making a lot of money out of asexuality. Some people think that, but I don't actually. I just sell a few t-shirts and books. That's all I do pretty much. But yeah, I would like to have a full-time job helping asexuals, to be quite honest with you, because that's what I was born to do. I was born to do that, but I have to keep a roof over my head and food on the table. So yeah, so I mean, that's partly, why I created my Asexualise Academy, because I want to have online training courses, because I can help you guys out. And I know that people who need extra help, don't mind buying courses and stuff. Like one of my friends gave me a really large donation for my free course. It's my asexualizeacademy.com. If you haven't already been on there, there's a 9-part video training series. It took me 4 days to record, and he just gave me a donation free, and that's like been plowed back into asexual stuff. So I don't know if you noticed, but my asexualize.com shop, my asexualize.com website is changing into a shop. I haven't quite finished it yet, so there's a few categories that are pictures that are still lacking, but I will have those category pictures back. I will have them on there. So it's nearly complete, and it's going to be like an Amazon shop. So it's going to have the best asexual products on Amazon. Predominantly at the moment it's Amazon.com, because there aren't that many asexual products on the .co.uk. And I work in partnership with Amazon.com, who package and print all the t-shirts that I do. And they didn't have that facility in the UK, but they're just getting it in the UK. So this is really good news. I've had email to say it's going to happen, but it's going to go rolling out to all accounts, but I don't know what order it's in or how far down the line. But I really need that, because I've had to redirect a lot of my people to my Redbubble shop, and I've been getting a lot more sales on there lately, because people, a lot of people are in the UK that follow me. So although my following tends to be larger on the .com, if you can't get it on the .co.uk as well, I kind of like don't talk about it as much as I used to. So it'll be great when I can actually get the the merchandise on the UK as well. So then the shop, the one that's on my asexualize.com site is great, because it has a little flag underneath each item to say whether it's available in the USA or UK. So if it's not got a little dot in the UK, but it's only available in the USA, and it's a shame because there's some brilliant designs. But I think when Amazon get their facilities sorted in the UK, when we can actually like, I work in partnership with Amazon, so when they've got the facility set up that I can do that, then I'll be obviously putting my t-shirts as well on the UK site, and you'll be able to get them from amazon.co.uk as well as .com. So that's just gonna be amazing. I can't wait for that to happen. But at the moment they're saying, oh, you can't contact us, we've got such a backlog of we've got so many people to contact, don't contact us about when you're personally able, accounts enabled for the UK. But I kind of think it's essential, so I might have to give them a boot up the bum in a bit. But it's only just been announced a few days ago, so I won't worry about that now. But yeah, that's something that's happening. It's going to be really good. So yeah, so this week I was feeling a little bit sad because like that guy came in, as you know, YouTube. I really liked him, if I'm honest, but you know, we haven't really spoken. You know, I tried to message him to see if he's all right, he's okay, but he's just said he's finding it difficult, which is fair enough because I did say no to LDR. But to be fair to me, I didn't really know him, and I think with any relationship, anyone that's genuinely interested in you or cares about you, I think they would keep the friendship going. You know, they would become friends with you. But maybe it's just he needs time. Like as a hyper romantic, like I need time really. Like sometimes as a hyper romantic, you need time apart from a person. Like it could be a few months to get over the feelings of romance for them, so you can just like be a friend to them. Sometimes you have to have that time out, so maybe that's where he's coming from. But I'm not going to worry, you know, I'm just going to let him get on with his life. Maybe it was just never meant to be in the first place. You know, so, and I've got the Indian sexual guy interested in me. As per usual, I've got a sexual guy interested in me, but he's nice as a friend actually. I'm kind of starting to like him as a friend. He's quite sweet today. He's always sending me pictures of himself, but he doesn't say anything sexual, which is nice. He just sends me pictures of him in clothes. Well, I absolutely love his clothes, to be quite honest with you. I mean, he's a good-looking Indian guy, but he's not what I would usually go for. He's older that I would usually go for, and you know, and he's not exactly the boy next door type of such, but he's quite handsome to look at, and he wears different clothes. So I absolutely love his clothes. When he's sending me pictures of him fully clothed, nothing naughty, just really nice, like gilet, you know, like a body warmer type thing, like with a top on and with like trousers and trainers or jeans and trainers. I just think, you know, his clothes actually are very attractive. I think I'm more attracted to his clothes than him. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, should I? But you know, I have clothes attraction. If you don't know what clothes attraction is and you've just come on this channel, you're like, what the heck's clothes attraction? It's when you're attracted to someone aesthetically, particularly with certain types of clothes they wear. So I like the street look. Like I like guys who wear hoodies, for example, who wear jeans and trainers, you know, they look from the hood or from the street man, you know, they look like they're about to go street dancing, maybe do some rapping. But I don't like the real rap look, you know, with the tattoos and the, you know, the piercings through the face. That's too much for me. I like the boy next door type street look. The clean, wholesome, pure guy who's cute and cuddly, but thin at the same time. But yeah, so today, you know, yesterday he sent me his Michael Jackson look picture, which is quite nice because I loved his jacket. And today he sent me a picture of him near this like Buddha picture in the wall, like statue in the wall, but it was like a face in the wall. And he looked really nice actually, and he said happy friendship day, and I just thought it was really nice. I mean, he's probably going around doing that to other people as well, but you know, I just thought it was really nice. I kind of liked the fact he's keeping in touch with me more now, and the fact he's like, you know, trying to be a friend to me, which is really sweet. You know, he says about coming over to UK and going out sex, but I don't really believe that. And to be honest, I don't think that he's likely to come to the UK. I mean, if he does, it's going to be no time soon, is it? And I need, like I keep saying, I need someone in person that I can actually like see. Do you know what I mean? That's why. What's the point? You know what I mean? There's points to being friends with someone, but if you're after a relationship, you know, I can't do long distance relationship, which is why I said no to the other guy. You know, I can't do it. You know, I can't be in a long distance relationship with someone I don't even know for a start, with someone I've never even met in real life. I don't think anyone should do that. I know there are a few people that do it, but I don't think there are any. I think, you know, if you're going to have a long distance relationship with anyone, you need to see them at least once before. Crikey, do you know what I mean? Otherwise you could just be devoting your life to someone that's completely not who they say they are, or you don't really know them. Do you know what I mean? And you need to get to know them as well, you know. I mean, sure, like say someone's in another country and you've known them like 2 years and they're definitely got proof they're going to come to your country in 6 months time, for example, and you decide you want to be together then, I guess that's okay because you've known them for 2 years and you know that they're definitely going to make it over here, you know, in 6 months time. And if they've got proof of it, but don't let them con you. There's so many that go, oh yeah, I'm going to be over there. Yeah, 6 months, 3 months. Oh, 8 months now. Oh yeah, sorry, it's not going to be till next year. Oh, sorry, I got a visa problem. Oh, sorry, I've got a passport issue. Oh, sorry, I need to go to the embassy. Oh, sorry this, sorry that. It's just a lot of excuses, you know. It's like, unless you know what you're doing and you really are got a goal in mind and you're definitely going to try and come over here, just don't waste my time, isn't it? Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, I know it's difficult because I do like foreign guys. So kind of like it might end up that I start in a long distance relationship with someone if I know they're definitely coming over here. I guess it's possible. But to be quite honest, I've got the theory that I don't want anyone, any foreign guy, to be in a relationship with them unless they come over here. They have to come over here because I can't be doing with that. I can't be doing with that, you know, like, oh, are they going to come over here and aren't they? You know, even if I see them once, it's like, I kind of don't want that. I don't want to just see them once and they go back to their own country. I don't think that's very healthy for me. You know what I mean? So they come and see me once, do all the kissing, intimacy, and then go off. I don't like that as a person. I don't like that. I don't feel good to me. It feels like they're kind of like, well, you've done that stuff and leaving me. Even though they're not having sex with me, to me, being intimate is something you do with, usually you do with, you know, with kissing I'm talking about, and being really passionate kissing, like, for example, in a room together. You know, it's something I want to do with a partner ideal, and I want them, you know, the person close to me. I don't want them to just go here for a week and then go back to their own country. I'd feel a bit weird. I feel like, well, you're leaving me after you've just been intimate with me. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. I've always felt like that though. I've always been that way. Like, to me, when you're intimate with someone, it's like you should be near them. You don't have to live in the same house as them. You know, but it's kind of like you want them around you more. Because it's kind of like you've given yourself to them, even if you're clothed. I don't know if anyone else feels that. It's a kind of a weird thing. I know not many people feel or think that way. It's really weird. I'm quite surprised how many like people that do have long distance relationships, they don't even think that way. To me, it's kind of like, well, you've done that and gone. It just feels a bit yucky, like I've done something dirty or wrong. It's really weird. I don't know if that's just my own psychology or what, but it just feels like weird. It just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like wrong. So I guess it means I need someone in this country, really, but or someone who I've known for a long time abroad, and then they definitely come over in this country, and then we can be together probably, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I'm self-dating today, and I've got some more work to do before then. Though I've got some more sheets. I've got it. My printer's packed up. Right, it's so annoying. My printer's packed up, so I've got to email all the emails I need to print off to send over to my parents, because I've got to fill like this form out for the job centre, because technically, even though I'm self-employed doing some t-shirts and books for Asexuals that I sell, it doesn't bring me in loads of money, so I'm still going to the job centre in the UK. So, you know, so yeah, that's how it goes. Like today, it's really weird. Today, I kind of thought, because my sexual female friends, they have a hard time trying to find a guy who's like a really good guy for them, and I kind of feel like maybe I should be diversifying out into helping sexuals with their relationships, in terms of like how, like, guys, how to get a good woman, because, you know, like the traditional dating coaches that I'm seeing, like, obviously I watch quite a lot of them because I try and help you guys with relationships, but it's different because we're asexual. But, you know, when I see the dating coaches, it's very, very outdated thinking, you know. It's like not what the modern woman the way modern woman wants to be treated by a guy. And I kind of think I should be teaching guys that are heterosexual guys how to treat a woman right. Do you know what I mean? I kind of thought maybe I should, by diversifying into that as well and doing courses for them and stuff, not just asexuals. But, you know, I'm dedicated to you guys. But having said that, I need some money coming in, so I need to find other opportunities and ways of making some money for myself, some like income, because, you know, the majority of stuff I do for asexuals is free, but obviously I can't live off fresh air, and I don't have a employed full-time job like I used to. So I've kind of milling around the idea, but I don't know how asexuals would feel if I was then doing other stuff to help sexuals. I don't know if you'd feel like I was, you know, still on your team, still batting for you, as it were, because I'm very much asexual, and asexuality is my heart and soul. You know, it's really what I'm meant to be doing. But I kind of like, you know, I thought of like some, you know, like you have a crazy creative idea every now and again. My crazy creative idea was like a website to help guys, with a course to help guys and how to get a quality good woman for a relationship. Obviously though, they'll be sexual, so I'll have to talk about sex to them. That's the thing. It's not like I can't talk about it, because I do have experience of that, even though I don't like it myself. But but there's a lot, a real woman these days, a modern woman, they don't just want the sex. They don't even have to be asexual. But I mean, if they're heterosexual, they tend to, the ones that do like sex, they like a lot of it regularly and it to be good for them. But half the time, I don't even think a guy knows how to be good at sex. I mean, I had in the past, I've had sex with 5 different guys at different times, all my boyfriend, and there was only 1 out of the 5 that actually knew what he was doing, which was my last long-term ex, and that knew how to do other stuff, so they didn't just stick it in. Do you know what I mean? A lot of guys are just like sexual guys, they just don't understand how to treat a woman in terms of all the stuff, like the emotional connection, the empathy, the caringness. They kind of just like, they don't even put the effort in. So it's kind of like, I feel like maybe I should be like, maybe there's a market there for me to help some other people, but kind of like, I'm dedicated to the asexuals, but then I do need to make some money at something. And like, seeing as I keep learning more and more about relationships, and my friends are like, I was talking to an entrepreneur friend, I was talking to one, my best friend, female friend, they're not asexual, and they were like, there's these guys, they just don't know how to treat a woman right. They're just not in tune with the modern woman. They're just, and they're not even making an effort. And so because I struggle with getting an asexual good guy for me, it's hard. I think there's not that many good guys out there, but I do have some good asexual guy friends. So there are good asexual guys out there. There are some good guys out there, but I think they're very few and far between, if I'm honest. And especially in terms of relationship, those who want relationships, I think there's less. Because I think I'm getting more and more aromantic friends lately than romantic friends, actually. I've got some romantic friends, but yeah, I think maybe it's getting a bit even. Maybe it's 50-50. Anyway, I think I've talked a lot now, because I know that you said you haven't got any questions for me, Martin. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I know you've been watching the whole show, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It's really nice. If you think of any questions afterwards, post them in the comments below. If someone else is watching this right now and they're not subscribed already, please subscribe. I'd love you to have you as part of my community here. And, don't forget to share this video if you think someone's going to benefit from it. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's, and I will see you on today's video now, because it's the can I get away with just doing 1 video a day, because I've kind of gone across 2. I don't think that'll work, will it? I think I have to do a live video tomorrow at my parents'. But I won't be doing it at a normal time at my parents'. It'll be some sort of obscure time, no doubt, because they've got a different lifestyle. Yeah, they've got a different lifestyle, love, too. Forgot to say that. Bye.